I was in college, and that was when the draft was, and we were kind of, to me it's a funny story, we were sitting around the dorm one night, and this is when they pulled the numbers and see where you were going to go. You know, if you were below a certain number, you're pretty well set to go, and if you were above, you probably weren't going to be going, you know, and at the time I really wasn't thinking about I wanted to join the service or anything like that. But anyway, they drew the numbers, and I must have stepped out of the room at the wrong time. I came back in, and I waited until the numbers surpassed what I thought the numbers would have to be, and we went downtown and had a celebratory drink and came back. The next morning I get up and I go out in the hallway, and the guy's going, "Oh, sorry, Ott, doggone, it's tough, you know." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Oh, you're number 26. And I go, "Oh no." So at the time I was still in college, you know, and I didn't really know what I was going to do anyway, so it wasn't like I was, you know, really interrupting my life. I graduated in the summer. In August, September, I got the letter saying greetings from the president, and so it's time to go and start doing your induction stuff. Went down to Omaha, did the routine, got inducted, passed the physical and everything, and then I thought, you know, this whole thing is just moving too fast. I don't move this fast. And so I went and saw Sergeant Scogan. I still remember his name, Staff Sergeant Scogan, down at the Air Force Recruiters. I said, you know, I think I'm going to get drafted. Matter of fact, I've got a bus ticket and everything to pick me up and to take me to basic training. I says, you know, I really like the Air Force. I love airplanes. I think the Air Force is what I really want to do. He said, well, we can work that out. You know, take a test, we'll find you a job. And so I did, and so I ended up in the Air Force. And not that I got anything against the Army or anything, but I just loved airplanes, and I wanted to be around Air Force. And I had an uncle who was a pilot in World War II. I got 4 years, you know. I want to enjoy myself. I'm tired of studying all the time. He said, I got just a job for you. Air Passenger Service Specialist. I said, sounds good to me. 6 weeks of tech school. And I said, that works for me. And so that's what I did. It's like if you go to the airport, it's the guy who's behind the counter who makes your reservation. Our job was to move military personnel and retirees who were just traveling. As a retiree, you could travel on space available military aircraft. So that was my job. I loved it, but I didn't learn a trade. So that's what 4 years I spent, and I learned how to get along with people, because here you are, you got, you know, maybe one stripe and you got a full bird colonel coming through, and so you learned your respect and things like that. Yeah, first I went to Offutt, which was like a bonus for me. I mean, it's like coming home, and had good working relationships, so had plenty of time off. I didn't have to take leave, really, because I was pretty much home all the time, which helped me out later, because later then I got an assignment to Turkey. So I went to Incirlik Air Base in Turkey. And I had just gotten married a little bit after we got in. We had a daughter who was 3 years old, and I had a son who was 15 months. So we had to move the family to Turkey. So I had to sponsor my family myself, which meant finding transportation over there, moving our household goods over there myself, and setting up a place to live. And so we had to live downtown in Adana, Turkey, where Incirlik Air Base is. There's two Turkeys. There's Istanbul, Turkey, as anybody who's traveled knows, and that's very western. And then you get downrange to Adana, which is getting close to Syria, and life is a lot different there. It's much more what you would expect of a Middle Eastern country. We were there 15 months. My family was there about a year, and I was there just a little bit longer. And so it worked out good. Everything just worked out good. I always said I've got to be the luckiest person, because everything just... Well, it started out looking like it was going to be oh my gosh, terrible thing to have happen to me. I've gone through college and everything and all this, and I got some ideas what I want to do, and now the draft has come up and nabbed me, and no, it just all worked out. And anybody who's missed those experiences like I had, I feel bad for, because I had good ones. I was lucky. 4 years of military service. That military service, I tell you what, it's good to have. It's good to have. Not only because of that, but it also opened up some doors to the VA system too. And I had a slight disability, so I've been able to use some of the VA benefits, and been very lucky. Unless you've really got some other important plans, like you've got really something invested in your life. But if you're just kind of wondering what to do, don't join the military. I really doubt you'll regret it. You might think at the beginning it's like maybe not the most fun thing to do, but when you get out, you're going to feel good.